So this morning I saw Paul Ryan on the morning news, and it was about this whole alphabet soup of the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the Trade Promotion Authority and the TISA and the TAA and all that went along with that. And they're all part of the same deal, and apparently they all need to pass for it to actually add up to what they want it to do. The overwhelming majority of Americans are against this, and something like 80% of Republicans and even the majority of Democrats are against this. We've said as much, and yet our elected representatives are not listening to us. This is a nation. America is a nation that has a fundamental principle that those governing govern by the consent of the citizens. They are not doing this in this case. Again, consent of the governed. As long as it's not unconstitutional, they are supposed to listen to us. And they are not. And I mentioned the Constitution. That's something that they're trampling all over because some voters want them to, which is not what consent of the governed means. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and that's supposed to protect minorities. It's supposed to protect the free speech of minorities, of unpopular viewpoints. It's supposed to protect people's property so that a politically unpopular minority can't just have their property taken, which has happened in the past. I'm getting a little bit off track. These are all complicated subjects that can lead to, many other things if you start pulling at this thread or that thread. But I want to try to stick to Paul Ryan here, because he's siding with President Obama on this. And the reason he's doing that is because Boehner is. And Boehner is the House leader, the House Republican leader. Now, Boehner is just corrupt as can be. His counterpart in the Senate, McConnell, is corrupt as can be. And that is what is leading to the spineless approach to President Obama, even though Republicans have a majority in the House. Now, Paul Ryan has a seat on the House Ways and Means Committee. And I believe that that is, if you will, that is getting Paul Ryan to go along with a Democratic president that really does hate this country. I believe Devin Nunes has the same problem. He's another Republican that used to be quite conservative, who is now siding with the Rhino wing of the Republican Party. Because Devin Nunes now sits on the Intelligence Committee. And I believe the Republican leadership that has become so left-leaning as to be barely discernible from the Democrats, that they've given Paul Ryan and Devin Nunes their marching orders that they have to toe the line or they will not have these committee seats. Now, Paul Ryan is talking about how this TPP and all that goes along with it will be a valuable deal for America because we need trade. And we do. But the problem is whether a trade deal sees the light of day, whether we know what is in it or not. And we don't know what's in this. It's not been released to the public. There's energy taxes in this. There are immigration policies in this. We don't know how it's going to affect our immigration or who's going to be coming to America from where if this passes. And It's irresponsible for Paul Ryan to be out stumping for this and acting like it's a good deal for America. I'm all for expanding trade. I really am. But it needs to be open to the public. That is a cornerstone of the American system as well. That we get to see what our representatives are voting on. And we are not getting to see what they are voting on in this case. And that the Founding Fathers warned about this. They said we are supposed to scrutinize government. That a free press is supposed to, not only a citizen, but the free press is supposed to scrutinize government so that we know what is going on with government. Whenever government is doing anything in secret, when they aren't allowing us to see what they are working on, it is never a good deal for the citizens. They are never up to any good when they are being secretive about stuff. Just for that alone, just the secrecy should be enough that we demand they don't vote for this. If they were responsible at all, even without public pressure, they would not even consider voting for this just because of the secrecy involved. So yes, I am upset at Paul Ryan. I am upset at Devin Nunes, who used to be actually quite conservative, and even Scott Walker has publicly said that he is in favor of these trade agreements. And I think that he is listening to Paul Ryan too much on this. He's trusting Paul Ryan too much on this. That Scott Walker is not really thinking for himself on this. They are from the same state, after all. Now, we do need more jobs in America. And an honest, fair, open trade agreement, I would be all for. I am a big free trade person. But this has so much else in it. It has to do with energy taxes, which cripple us, which are currently crippling us in California because of high taxes on energy. We don't need that nationwide. That's a big part of why business does not like to be in California. It'll be a big part of why business does not like to be in America if stuff like this happens on a nationwide level. And the immigration problem, that we don't know for sure what is in this as far as immigration is concerned. But we do know that it does allow for it, and that really has nothing to do with trade. That just allows more people in. And there are provisions in this. This much has made it to WikiLeaks, that there are provisions in this that will allow Pakistanis in here. And probably with little in the way of background checks on these people. I mean, they're already pushing to let Syrians in with nothing more than just a background check that is really just a formality. We don't need more people in here. We have so many people in here that haven't assimilated yet. We really need to put the brakes on immigration, and a so-called trade agreement that has components to it that are actually going to continue this flood of immigration is wrong also. But this is just hugely inappropriate. The whole scope of this, the very nature of the debate on it. And I'm really disappointed in Paul Ryan here. I thought he was made of better stuff than this. But, you know, and even Scott Walker. Scott Walker really needs to reevaluate this the same way he did the immigration issue as he toured the Southwest U.S. and saw that. But this Paul Ryan, I'm really disappointed in. I think he's really irresponsible. I think he's really just out and out being dishonest and lying about this, because Boehner has the power to take that committee seat away from Paul Ryan. I think that is what's driving this. I think that explains Devin Nunes' sudden shift to the left. Devin Nunes is another congressman that actually had been pretty good during his time in Congress, but during this new Congress, there was a sudden shift to the left, and he got that House Intelligence Committee post. Again, Ryan himself is on the Ways and Means Committee, and guess who controls, who gets assigned to those jobs? Boehner. And Boehner is just as corrupt as it gets. If you go to Conservative Review, they have a list of congresspeople and they assign them Liberty scores. Check out once the Liberty score of Boehner and McConnell. It is literally the worst in Congress. I'll post a link.